Mucho caliente, yes.
Even though the air is thick with humidity, we can breathe a little easier tonight because Donald Trump is out of the country. He is... Paris left the house. Trump is in the UK, or as he has to be reminded not to call it, the UC. Paddington Unbearable is in England for an official visit with the royal family. Wait till he finds out tea time has nothing to do with golf. He's going to be very upset. The royals are expected to greet the president and first lady tomorrow, but some clever Brits are already rolling out, well, I wouldn't call it a red carpet exactly, but rather a King Kong-sized photo of Trump with his buddy Jeffrey Epstein. This is right outside Windsor Castle, where the Trumps will be staying. The British press by yelling at a reporter from Australia who dared to ask about the billions of dollars he's been raking in since the election.
President Trump said a president in office should be engaged in so much business activity.
Well, I'm really not. My kids are running the business. I'm here. You know what the activity, where are you from?
I'm from the Australian Broadcasting Corporation.
The Australians, you're hurting Australia, right? In my opinion, you are hurting Australia very much right now. They want to get along with me. You know, your leader is coming over to see me very soon. I'm going to tell him about you. You said a very bad talk.
What a little tattletale he is. I mean, going to tell his prime minister on him? I'm going to tell him you said mean things and you're going to be in trouble. He needs to make a decision. You want to be a dictator or just a dick? Because you can't. He also spent some time bragging about his $200 million ballroom again. He said it's going to be the greatest ballroom, including WrestleMania 5, All My Children, Ghost Can't Do It, 2 Weeks Notice, Days of Our Lives, Miss USA, Miss Universe, The Ali G Show, Marmalade, and much, much more. This is quite a resume. You know he met Melania on 90 Day Fiancé. In addition to the Times, he's also filing another frivolous lawsuit against the publisher and authors of this book, Lucky Loser, How Donald Trump Squandered His Father's Fortune and Created the Illusion of Success. A book I had never heard of until today, but will now be ordering for every member of my family. Maybe it'll become a New York Times bestseller and you could sue them both again. And it's not just writers the president's trying to silence. He's ordered our national parks to remove a number of signs and exhibits related to slavery. He's rewriting history in the United States. From now on, under Donald Trump, slaves will be referred to as tourists who volunteered to help white people do stuff. No, that was a joke. That wasn't it. You never know, right? I mean, he's also sending the National Guard into Memphis, where crime is at a 25-year low. What will happen when we actually need the National Guard? Will we have to call in the Eagle Scouts? Meanwhile, many in Magaland are working very hard to capitalize on the murder of Charlie Kirk. Yesterday, J.D. Vance, who himself famously called Donald Trump America's Hitler, hosted the Charlie Kirk podcast from the White House, where he pointed his little mascara-stained finger directly at the left.
While our side of the aisle certainly has its crazies, it is a statistical fact that most of the lunatics in American politics today are proud members of the far left.
Right. And by statistical fact, he means complete bullshit. So much so that the Department of Justice just removed a study that showed white supremacy and violence from far-right groups is the greatest source of domestic terror and extremist violence in the United States. Here's a question J.D. Vance might be able to answer. Who wanted to hang the guy who was vice president before you? Was that the liberal left? Or the toothless army who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. The president and his henchmen are doing their best to fan the flames so they can, I guess, attack people on the dangerous left. Which is it? Are they a bunch of sissy pickleball players because they're too scared to get hit by tennis balls, or a well-organized, deadly team of commandos? Because they can't be both of those things. There's a guy on Newsmax, which if you haven't seen it, is really funny. It's like a low-rent Fox News. There's a guy named Carl Higbie who at first glance you would think is a comedian.
It is us versus them. They will never get along with us, but they want us to show tolerance for them while they just scream and insult us. Done. We're not doing that anymore. We're not taking it anymore. I have no interest in tolerating your views because, you guys are radical. My mother-in-law is banned from my house.
That came out of nowhere. His mother-in-law isn't even a Democrat. He just doesn't like her. It was just a... Boy, what a difference an election makes. 2 years ago, these meatheads couldn't shut up about the First Amendment. Now they want to skip right to the second. Elon Musk, who was so angry about conservative voices being silenced that he bought Twitter and turned it into excrement, said, the left is the party of murder. And Eric Trump was on Fox and Friends waxing poetic about Charlie Kirk's relationship with his dad.
If you look at where he's created and the movement that he's built today, it's exactly what he described to me 10 years ago. And he became obviously dear friends with Don's. He became, that's right, probably a second son to my father.
Wait, I think you were the second son to your father. I mean, I'm starting to feel bad for her. This poor guy might need somebody to adopt him. In Washington today, the Senate Judiciary Committee grilled FBI Director Kash Patel.
It's an honor to be here with you today.
Patel was summoned to explain why they refused to release the Epstein files they promised to release. He was dodgy, sketchy, sniffy, combative, and just unpleasant overall. He couldn't even answer a question from fellow Republican John Kennedy.
Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself?
Himself. There is no credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday.
Forget yesterday. How about tomorrow? We would take it. He still has no explanation for why they won't release the files, and no explanation for why Epstein's primary accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, was suddenly transferred to a country club prison after meeting with Trump's lawyer. Eventually, frustration boiled over, and Senator Cory Booker didn't just grill Patel, he flame-broiled him live in front of everyone.
Here's the thing, Mr. Patel. I think you're not going to be around long. I think this might be your last oversight hearing. Because as much as you supplicate yourself to the will of Donald Trump and not the Constitution of the United States of America, Donald Trump has shown us in his first term and in this term, he is not loyal to people like you. He will cut you loose. This may be the last time I have a hearing with you because I don't think you're long for your job. But I'm going to tell you this. I pray for you. I pray for you that you can step up and defend your oath, defend the Constitution, and do a much better job of defending this country. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
And then they grounded him for 2 weeks with no TV. The House Oversight Committee today released another batch of Epstein documents, or as Trump calls them, fake documents, unless they exonerate him, in which case, real documents. That's how you can tell. But Kash Patel, I'm not sure he even has the Epstein files to release. I have a feeling Trump put them like on top of a refrigerator where he can't reach them or something. But if he ever does get them, I think he should literally take a page out of his boss's playbook and offer them for sale.